Hello, my name's Kenneth, and I'm here to review another expansion for the two-player card game Revolver. This expansion is 1.2, and it's called Hunt the Man Down. And if we turn the box over, we can see what's all included in this expansion. And if you look in the bottom right corner, it says includes 2 new modules to play with. So for this video, I'm going to talk about those 2 new modules and everything else that comes with this expansion. So if you haven't played the main game and looked into the first expansion, this video might not be very useful. This video is going to be for people who have already played Revolver and are kind of thinking about purchasing the first or second expansion. I suggest you if you're going to buy the second one, I suggest you also buy the first one, but I guess you don't have to. But yeah, this video is going to be more of an overview of everything that's included to see if you want to actually make this purchase or not. So anyway, yeah, let's take a look at Revolver 1.2, Hunt the Man Down. The main addition to this new expansion is a new battlefield, and this battlefield is the San Manzanillo Prison. I am not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. You have to excuse me, I'm from Seattle, so I'm used to pronouncing Native American names, not Hispanic names. So, Puyallup, Snoqualmie, no problem, but I don't know about this. So I'm just going to call this the prison card. So anyway, this battlefield, you see it's not long, it's just one space there. And this battlefield is placed between Battlesnake Creek and Buzzard Point. And when you arrive at this battlefield, the Jack Colty player decides whether or not that you guys actually want to go here. If you want, you can just skip this battlefield altogether. But the Jack Colty player gets to decide whether or not you go there. So why would you want to go there? Well, there's this card here that kind of explains what happens when you go to the prison. So first, you see Jack Colty gains 1 wound. So what's a wound? I'll show you here. Here's Jack Colty, and that right there is a wound token. And there are 4 wound tokens in the game. And various cards can give Jack Colty a wound, and some can take a wound off. But anyway, so there's 4 wound tokens, and if they're all on Jack Colty, if he has a 5th wound added to him, that's game over. The Jack Colty player will lose. So this gives the Colonel McGreedy player another option, another way to win the game, basically. So if you decide to go to the prison, the first thing you'll do is just place 1 wound on Jack Colty, and then the Jack Colty player draws 6 cards, and the Ned McGreedy player gets to draw 3 cards. Okay, and the dynamite is worth 3 points there. But anyway, so the way the action here works is really simple. Players take turns putting cards down at the prison. So, for example, one person will play Colonel Ned McGreedy. And the thing about the prison is the only thing you care about is the firepower. So you see that it costs 3 cards to play him. Don't worry about that. The True Grit, don't worry about that. The only thing you're worried about is the firepower. And then, say, the Jack Colty player plays a Gatling gun. So again, it costs 2, but at the prison, everything's free. And the only thing you care about is the firepower. And then, say the Colonel McGreedy player wants to pass. So they pass. And then the Colty player plays that. And the McGreedy player passes again. And then the Colty player passes. So after both players pass, you stop and then you count up all the cards and you see who has the most firepower. And if the Colty player wins, you add Santiago to the game. So you might say, who's Santiago? This is Santiago. Santiago is just a new bandit. He has a True Grit token on him. So if the Colty player wins, you just add Santiago to your bandit pile. and if McCready wins, you kill 2 bandits, and if there's a draw, you kill 1. So this prison, it can be a real game changer, but just because you lose the prison doesn't mean you're going to necessarily lose the game. I've definitely won the prison battlefield and lost the game several times. So yeah, but it definitely adds a new aspect to the game that's a lot of fun. And yeah, you got to really think hard if you're the Jack Colty player whether or not you want to go to the prison or not. So yeah, that's the new prison battlefield. Now we're going to take a look at the new cards for the Colonel McCready player. So the first card we have here is Devil's River, and it says just add 2 tokens to the Mexican border card. So that's pretty good. Up next we have the Saddlecloth Armory. So this, you gain 2 attack this turn, but you play only during the attack phase. So this card's pretty cool because during the attack phase, you add up both the total attack power for each side, and say you're beat by 1. Well, if you play this card, you'll surprise your opponent and say, "Ha, I got you by 1 now." So this card's pretty cool. But even better than the Saddlecloth Armory is the Hidden Sniper. And this one you gain 4 attack. And again, you only play during the attack phase. So these cards are kind of cool. They'll definitely help you win a couple of battles. So moving on, we have the Brad Runyon Undertaker. So what this guy does is you slide the card under a sheriff in play, except for provoke Buffalo Stampede. And if the attached sheriff is killed, remove the sheriff from the game, like you normally would, but then you get to draw 3 cards. So he's just kind of a little insurance policy. Once one of your characters is killed, you get to draw 3 cards after that character is killed. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Next we have the You're Wanted in 5 States, I Mean to Take You In card. So this is a card that you cancel any card your opponent when it plays, unless they kill 1 bandit. So this is pretty cool because your opponent could play an awesome card, and if you play this, they'll have to kill a bandit if they want to use that card. So it's kind of like the Chinese fireworks from the expansion 1.1, but in that one you only have to discard 2 cards, and this one you have to kill a bandit. So I think this one might be a little better. But next we have Papagos Guide. So this one is each time your opponent plays a Cherokee Scout, put a +2 on this card, and you may discard 0 during your turn to move the guide to the current battlefield. So the Cherokee Scout is a card that the Jack Colty player plays, which lets them draw 2 cards. So if they play that card and this guy is out there, you get to put a +2 attack token on him, and the discard 0. That just means you can move this guy to the current battlefield for free. This card's pretty good, I guess, if if your opponent has a Cherokee Scout in their deck. I don't know. It doesn't always work out that you get to play this guy and they play the Cherokee Scout. I don't think I've seen it happen very often, but it's a possibility. So just another neat card. Next we have the Pinkerton Marshal. So there are 4 of these guys in the game, all 4 of them there, and these guys have a couple new icons on them. First, you'll see they have the padlock icon, and what the padlock icon means is you can play this card at the prison face down. So that's kind of cool, because then your opponent, if they see 4 cards at the prison, they might think, "Oh no, I'm going to lose the prison battle or the prison stage for sure." But they could really just be 4 of these guys, and that's only 4 firepower. So that's what the padlock means. And the little gun sight there, that's really cool. That means your opponent must attack this character first. So, for example, if you have, I don't know, the Indian guide here and a Pinkerton Marshal, and say your opponent wants to kill Papagos, first they have to kill the Marshal because he has that little gun sight on him. So that's that's kind of cool. I really like that. But anyway, moving on. Next we have Estela Morales. So you see she also has the padlock, and she has you have to discard one card to play her. But when she is played, you destroy one firepower card of your opponent. So yeah, that's pretty good. Not too bad. But next we have Douglas Mortar, and he costs 2 Mexican border tokens to play. But when you do play him, you kill 1 bandit, and he has a pretty high firepower, so he's pretty good. I think these 2 people maybe shop at the same store, all dressed in black. But anyway, the last card we have here is Captain James Barclay Mantooth, Texas Ranger. So you see this guy has a huge firepower, 5. He does cost 2 tokens from the Mexican border, so you always got to keep your eye on the Mexican border. But when he is played, you -1, which means you go forward 1. So that's actually bad for the Colonel McGreedy player. But you also add 1 wound. So adding that extra wound, that's pretty big. So yeah, I would probably always have this card in my deck, because anything that adds a wound to Jack Colty is pretty important. So yeah, there you have it. Those are all the new cards for the Colonel McGreedy player. Yeah, I kind of forgot. There's actually one more card for the Colonel McGreedy player. This is a new ambush card. It's the it's Too Darn Quiet card. And when this card is played, you kill 2 bandits. Then your opponent draws 2 cards, and you add 1 wound to the Jack Colty player. So this is, I think, extremely devastating. Killing 2 bandits is huge, and putting a wound on Jack Colty is also pretty big. The Jack Colty player gets to draw 2 cards, but I don't know. That's not really a game changer by any means. So yeah, this is just a new ambush card that will add to the deck. And again, remember, 1 ambush card is randomly discarded at the start of each game. So this one could be discarded, but hopefully you get to keep it, because it's pretty big for the McGreedy player. Now we're going to take a look at the new cards for the Jack Colty player. First one up is Quick Draw, and you gain 1 attack this turn, play it only during the attack phase. And next we have the Concealed Palm Pistol, gain 3 attack this turn, and also only play during the attack phase. So remember, the Colonel McGreedy player has 2 similar cards, and they are gain 2 attack and gain 4 attack. So the Jack Colty ones are a little weaker, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So next we have the Train Roof Fight, and upon reaching the 315 Express, you may place a +1 attack on that battlefield. So a +1 attack isn't huge, but better than nothing, and you kind of need all you can get at the 315 Express. So not a terrible card, I guess. Then we have the Sad Hill Cemetery. So this one, you put a True Grit token on Josie Legs Newcomb if she is still alive. So remember, Josie is a bandit card. So if she's still alive, yeah, you can play this if you discard 2 cards. The True Grit, remember, basically you have to kill her twice. But if Josie's already dead, this card's worthless, and it'll just be one you have to discard. So moving on, we have Klaus the Hunchback. So this one has massive firepower, 4 firepower. But when you play him, your opponent gets to draw 2 cards. So you just got to think how bad you need the firepower. But anyway, he kind of reminds me of Sloth, if Sloth had long blonde hair. Sloth, of course, being from the Goonies. But anyway, next card we have is Nitroglycerin. So you see they have the wound token on this card. So if you play this card, you have to put a wound on Jack Colty. And if you play this card, you kill 1 sheriff, which is not that great. Or you may play this card at the prison as if it had a 5 firepower token on it. So this is definitely a card you want to play at the prison, because remember, if you play it at the prison, you don't worry about any costs, so you won't worry about that wound. Yeah, I don't think it's worth killing a sheriff to put a wound on Jack Colty. unless it's like at the very last stage of the game or something. But yeah, this is definitely a powerful card that you would want to play at the prison if you're the Jack Colty player. So, and speaking of wounds, we have the Lakota Medicine Man. So pretty simple card, just -1 wound. So this is a card that I always put in my deck because wounds have a way of piling up. So this just gives you a little insurance by taking off one of the wounds. And up next we have the Arkansas Toothpick. So there are 3 of these cards in the deck. And you see they only have 1 firepower, but they do have that padlock. So you can put this card at the prison face down. So again, your opponent's not going to know what card it is. You know, it could be something big, but joke's on them. It's just a Arkansas Toothpick. And a couple. And the last card here with the padlock is the Garzista Revolutionary. So again, there are 3 of these guys in the deck, and so they also have the padlock, but they also have higher firepower. So 3 is pretty good. But if you don't play this at the prison, say you just play a normal battlefield, if this character is killed, you have to discard 1 and add a wound to Jack Colty. So that is pretty huge. I don't know if I'm brave enough to play this at a battlefield other than the prison. Because remember, the prison, you don't worry about anything else, just the firepower. So yeah, these revolutionaries are prison only for me because, you know, you cannot just go adding wounds on Jack Colty left or right, or else the game will be very, very short. So anyway, there you have it. Those are all the cards for the Jack Colty player. Alright, time for some final words on this expansion. I think the added prison battlefield is a lot of fun. It can be pretty stressful for the Jack Colty player, but it's definitely a good addition to the game. And as for all the new cards, I really like the added cards for this expansion. I find myself using the cards from this expansion a lot more than the last expansion, 1.1. I just think these cards are better. I really like the padlock cards, the ones you can play face down in the prison. Those are a lot of fun. So overall, yeah, I think this expansion is pretty good. I think it might be a little better than the last expansion. So if you do own the base game Revolver and the first expansion, I think this expansion is kind of a must-buy. It's really great. And yeah, if you enjoyed the base game Revolver and the first expansion, you're just gonna enjoy this a lot too. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So all right, there you have it. Revolver 1.2, Hunt the Man Down.